You do.
Like on record.
Which is fine.
Okay.
I'm always on record anyways. Detlef, I'd like to speak in English,
Yes.
if that's okay,
Yes.
because we have non-Vietnamese speakers here.
Yeah.
So as a courtesy for our friends, and I'll speak clearly and slowly. For those like myself who needs to speak slowly as well. But first of all, thank you so much for being here this afternoon at our regular weekly coffee throughout the Supervisorio District. Supervisor Andrew Doe is not here this evening. He has another scheduled conflict. But as his chief of staff, I do a lot of these events, outreach events with Ophelia, who is our Director of Community Engagements and Outreach. And she knows every nooks and crannies within the district here. And coming back to Garden Grove, this is, of course, it's like coming home again for me, because as some of you know, I used to serve on the Garden Grove City Council, being the very first Vietnamese American to sit on the Garden Grove City Council. Well over what? Oh my gosh, 23 years ago already. 23 years ago, back in 2000. Seems like it was just last week. But here we are today, and it's been a real pleasure working with the county for me as an official at the county, at the supervisor's district, doing a lot of activities, a lot of work for the good and betterment of our county here. Does anybody know how big our county is, population?
3.5 million.
Okay, 3.5. That's a good number. Any other numbers? We're at around 3.2.
Wow.
Okay, 3.2. Okay, not
Very close.
including the undocumented.
Very close. Okay, so
Who
close.
knows? Maybe we're at 3.5.
Yeah.
You know, you have something that I don't know, but definitely on the record, we're at over 3.2 million residents. There are, in 50 states in the United States, there are over 3,000 counties. Over 3,000 counties. Unlike in Asia, many countries in Asia, the cities are actually larger than counties, are higher level than county. But here in the United States, the counties are actually bigger or higher level than the cities. So there are over 3,000 counties throughout the United States. California, we have 58 counties. 58. And guess what? In terms of population, Orange County is the 6th largest in the United States at over 3.2 million residents.
Wow.
Which is pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty big. Actually, we're number 5 or number 6, depending on the month.
Out of 3,000, that's good.
Out of 3,000, you have Los Angeles County, which is the largest county in the United States at well over 10 million residents. And then you have, I believe, Cook County, which includes Chicago and the surrounding area. And then Maricopa, which is Phoenix. And then you have Harris County, Houston. And then either Orange County or San Diego County coming up next. So at 3.2 million people, residents, our population is larger than 19 states. It's pretty incredible. So the Board of Supervisors actually does a lot of work that people don't know. What does a supervisor do? You know, a lot of folks approach me, and maybe some of you wonder, what does a supervisor do? Maybe he runs an assembly line or what in some company. I mean, that's the most common response that I hear, being a supervisor. But in some respect, it's true. As a supervisor, which is basically an elected official at the local level, but it is a very powerful position in the sense that there are only 5 supervisors. And each supervisors represent a district. And each district has about over 700,000 residents. So for District 1, in which we are located here, Supervisor Doe, Andrew, covers about 10 cities and 10 cities and communities. Okay, what are those cities? Let's go through them. We have, well, let's go from north to south first,
Okay.
and then we'll loop back to Cypress, but you're
Sure.
right. Cypress is included. So you have Garden Grove,
Mm-hmm.
Westminster,
Mm-hmm.
Fountain Valley,
Mm-hmm.
Huntington Beach, all of Huntington Beach,
Mm-hmm.
Seal Beach,
Mm-hmm.
Los Alamitos,
Mm-hmm.
Cypress.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looping back. The Cypress and then La Palma.
Rossmore.
And then two unincorporated areas, Midway City and Rossmore, which is next to Los Al Seal Beach.
Okay.
So that whole area is covered or is within the first supervisorio district. And Fountain Valley, of course, with Mile Square Park as well, which is a gem actually for our district and our county here. And with all the activities that we are planning to do there, it's quite incredible within the next year or two. So that's just a little bit lay of the land about the county. The budget that was passed last month, actually, for the county. Guess how much? Only five supervisors control this budget, which is huge. And actually, you only need 3, just like a local city council.
Vote.
You only need 3 votes to really have a majority, a simple majority, to run the entire county. 3 votes,
Wow.
3 members of the board. And the general fund budget that was passed I think 2 weeks ago, it was well over 9.3 billion.
It tripled.
It was steadily growing.
Wow.
$9.3 billion.
Incredible.
So the county, and that's not all of it. Not a lot of people know this, but it also the Board of Supervisors, and that does not include CalOptima, which is also CalOptima Health is also quasi part of the county government as well, because 2 members of the Board of Supervisors sits on the Board of Directors.
Oh.
Get to appoint the board members as well
Wow,
for
okay.
CalOptima.
Wow.
That CalOptima Health alone has a budget annually, a budget of $4.2 billion. 1,300 employees. So you got CalOptima, you got the Orange County Transportation Authority, that's the bus line. OCTA, that's 1.7 billion. That's part of, not part of the county government per se, but it's definitely affiliated and associated with the county, because all the Board of Supervisors members are also members of the Board of Directors. So you have the OCFA, that's the Fire Authority. You have John Wayne Airport, which is directly under the county. You have the harbor, the sheriff's, the district attorney, the prosecutors. You have parks and recreations. You have public recycling. You have, county health, social services, all together, over 17,000 full-time employees.
Incredible. Wow.
26 departments and agencies, and only five members of the board. Basically, it's a full-time position with a complement of staff, professional staff that help the supervisors with the policies and the issues. So it's quite incredible that the board, what the board does, but a lot of people just don't know. You know your mayor, you know your members of Congress, but in the middle, where the rubber meets the road, as I call it, at the county level, nobody knows. Here in Orange County, you have, with 3.2 million residents, you have 34 cities, big and small. You have Irvine and Anaheim, 2 of the biggest cities in Orange County, and then Santa Ana. And then you have small cities like Villa Park, or even La Palma. Villa Park got around 7,000 to 8,000 residents, but they all have their own. City councils and their own government. Their own. Most of these cities have their own police departments as well as their fire department as well. But for those who don't, they contract with the city, And why is it important to have the county government serve as like a one-stop shop, a central location or agency, government entity, in which federal dollars and state dollars from Washington D.C. and from Sacramento poured down to the county so that the county can disperse those funds. Take for example, during COVID, billions of dollars were dispersed through the county for vaccines, for masks, and for education, and also for emergency foods and cuisine for the elderly and the sick as well. So can you imagine if you have 34 cities in Orange County, 88 cities in Los Angeles, nearly 500 cities in California. Instead of the federal government dealing with 500 cities, they only have to deal with 58 counties. So that's why it's a lot easier. Many of the services that's being provided, whether it's social services in terms of homeless issues or healthcare issues, it's easier to centralize these types of services for the county to disperse and to coordinate with the cities instead of dealing directly with the cities, and that's why it's done that way. So the county actually does not have a lot of money other than property taxes, which we get a little bit, but not a lot. But most of the funding comes from the federal as well as the state government, from Sacramento and Washington D.C. And that's where we're at. The county, just like the city, at the local level, we are here to provide the service, to provide a service for the residents. Unlike during my past life when I was a state legislator or a lawmaker on the legislative side, you only do policy or you only do laws, and then you let the state, the governor's office or the state on the executive side execute the laws, right, and provide the services. But at the local level, the city and the county, that's all they do, basically provide services. And the two services that's most important or most fundamental for all the residents, whether you're in a city or at the county, is public safety. Public safety. Now, public safety covers more than just police. It also covers fire, right? Here at the county, also lifeguard, if you have to deal with beaches or the harbor. Public safety also has something to do with what you might call it, EMTs, ambulance service as well, emergency services. So those are first responders, as we call them. So that's one of the issue that the county does. That's a large chunk of the budget goes to public safety. Other issues such as healthcare as well is important for the county to provide efficient services to the residents. CalOptima Health, as I mentioned, is actually a health insurance. Prior to CalOptima Health, it was Medi-Cal, if you recall Medi-Cal, and then it was basically changed to CalOptima Health during the mid-90s, and to provide local control and also local flexibility in terms of services for poorer residents. Everybody thinks that Orange County is a rich, well, not everybody, a lot of folks has this image of Orange County as a rich or upper class county. And it's true to a certain extent if you drive along the coast, if you visit Newport Coast or Huntington Beach or any of the beach cities, Laguna Beach. But it would blow your mind to know that at 3.2 million residents, the number of clients or customers that qualify for subsidized healthcare, is nearly 1 million residents. Almost 1 out of 3 would qualify for Medi-Cal.
So
here
1/3.
in Orange County. Almost 1/3,
Wow.
yes. So that speaks volumes about the diversity of our, both in terms of racial diversity, but also economic diversity of our county as well. And that's why I think it's great that just recently, within the last 2 months, the Board of Supervisors just voted to create a new office. It was unanimously passed at the board to create an office. It's called OIRA, the acronym for the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs.
Nice.
And for those who are sensitive about funding or budgeting, whether we're overspending on or overgrowing the government, we're not actually. It's just an efficient and a better way to create an office to centralize all the services, whether it's healthcare, education, employment, social services, for refugees and immigrants who come to our county or currently live in our county. All those services are already in existence, and we have the personnel and the resources for these types of services, but it's scattered all over the different agencies and departments throughout the county, throughout the 18,000 residents, employees. Now it's centralized into one office to serve as a coordinator, an institutional coordinator for all of these services. So if you are a refugee from Afghanistan or from the Ukraine, two of the largest groups right now coming to Orange County, instead of visiting all over the place to get your services, now you just go to this one office.
Where is it
to get
located?
all of it. It's going to be located actually right down the street in Westminster. It's going to be at the Orange County Community Service Center, right in Westminster, corner of Magnolia and McFadden.
Oh.
Yeah, the service center is right there.
Oh yeah, on the left
And
side.
Yes, on the west side.
Okay.
On the east side, actually. So it's always been there, but this office is one of the very few offices that the county government anywhere in the United States have for us.
Wow.
But that's the recognition of the diversity of our county and the need to provide better service, more efficient service for our residents, especially for those most vulnerable who just came to the States, who need language assistance, who need the paperwork, who needs, simple things as a driver's license and an ID card. So all of these issues will be resolved quickly and efficiently, hopefully, just through this office instead of being scattered all over the county. At this point, I'm going to stop here, take a drink of water, but I'd like to introduce Ophi. Maybe Ophi can briefly share with us a little bit about some of the services that we have at the county level.
Well, I do want to let everybody know, during the summer, the county hosts summer concerts at our different parks,
Yeah.
free to the public, and also movie nights. So please grab one, take your family. They're all over the county. They're amazing. They have some really great bands, but this is really neat for the kids to take them out, see a free movie. They have food and snacks. And
That
all
we
kinds
never
of
know
stuff.
about.
Well, Ophi, if I may,
Yes.
at that point, I'd like to introduce to all of you Mr. Steve Sarkis, who's a Parks and Recreation Commissioner
Hey,
That's
for the
true.
County of Orange, for our district.
that's wonderful.
So
Very
Steve
active.
is our appointee.
Yes, he's very well knowledgeable with what's going on in First District.
That's great. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
So Steve can attest to this. They're pretty popular events. They're free, and every summer we have them. So please help yourself. Also, something else that people don't realize: the second Saturday of every month at our OC Animal Shelter, they give out free pet food. Right now, people are still recovering from the pandemic, can't afford their pets, or don't have money to buy food from. This is a really good resource. If you know somebody that has a lot of pets, can't afford to feed them, they will give you food for your pets. So you can just go down to Tustin and get that. Also, we have some other public library at the Garden Grove Public Library, some other programming for your kids and family, but very importantly, if you need help paying your gas bill, we have some information here. I have it in Vietnamese and I have it also in English to help you or any family members or friends that may need assistance with your gas bill.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yep, and then I also have these cards. If you need housing assistance, food assistance, you have domestic violence, you need someone to talk to, employment assistance, we offer all these services at the county, and these little cards are very, very handy. You can give them out to friends, family, anybody that you think might be interested, or just keep one in your pocket. If someone talks to you about something, hey, you know what, you can call this number. So, and if you lose your card, you can always dial 211. Our 211 number can direct you to any of these services. So that's also a good resource. And also assistance on paying your water bill. Here's something else. So again, we have help for utility bills through our nonprofit Community Action Partnership. So please help yourself. Come on up here if you need it before you leave, and share that with folks that you know. And just to let you guys know, coming up in September, we have our big events. We have our car show and concert on the 30th, and the next day, Moon Festival on October 1st. That's a big event for kids. It's all free. We have entertainment, all kinds of really neat stuff for the kids there. But Moon Festival, the kids get a lantern. It's so fun. So we'll be having that.
And all of these activities are at Miles Square.
Miles Square Park.
Nice.
Those are our events, right?
Yeah, I wanted to elaborate a little bit more information on the services that you can take advantage of, and also the funding as well. There is a lot of money, untapped, untouched, from the state and the federal government to provide subsidies with your gas, your utilities, your electricity, as well as your water. And I can tell you that I was able to help through the office and partnering with Community Action Partnership organization, which is a nonprofit, and partnering with the city of Westminster and other cities to assist hundreds, literally hundreds of folks who are qualified for the subsidies. You get paid if you are, for example, if you qualify, you can apply, and if you are behind on your water bill, you can get paid up to $2,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, in back water.
What's the qualification?
Well, they will check your income
Okay.
and all of that, and they will pay for, usually $2,000 is a lot of money. That includes, something's wrong with your pipe.
That's very nice with the county. Wow.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
it's actually federal dollars.
Yeah.
And these are the types of funding, and we have services also for the elderly. And also, we just did a round, for example, we gave out 250 iPads through the office, county office of aging.
Wow.
Gave out to how many organizations did I chose? About 15, 20?
Yeah. I was
That's
gonna say
incredible
about
to know,
20
huh?
Yeah, about
Wonderful
15 or
stuff.
20 iPads,
in our
which,
cities.
throughout the cities, including the Asian American Senior Citizen Center, they got 15 iPads, brand new, also with training, a training program that
Oh,
comes
that's
with it
nice.
for the seniors. The Westminster, the Garden Grove Senior Citizen Centers also get these iPads from the counties with the training service as well. So there are so many benefits and so many types of programs. If you qualify, then take advantage of it by all means.
What about like community sponsor events and things like that? Do they sponsor for those?
Say that again?
Like community sponsor events or community events?
Community events, usually we do, at least at the first district, we do, I know that we do the TED Festival and also the Moon Festival. We usually have a Christmas concert around December, prior to Christmas. And then during the summer, I know we have the classic car
The classic car show and concert.
as well. And all of these events are at Miles Square
And they're all
Park, which
free.
is located in the heart of the first district. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So,
And we get a lot of families out, families that can't afford to take their kids anywhere, they come out and do this, and it's quality stuff.
yeah, I'd like to open up for some questions or comments. Yes.
Question, I've been trying to convince the OCTA that all these clover leaves they build for the freeways on and off ramps, all 18 states now have gone to this called diverging diamond interchange. They do the same thing, Because when Pat Bates was in the legislature, John Moore, the Democrats told him they didn't know what they're talking about. But 18 states are using it, including Phoenix now, where they control the on and off ramps to the freeway by traffic lights, and they only use a quarter of the real estate. And plus, instead of costing $1 million and a half for the interchange, they can do it for less than $100,000. And Caltrans is opposed to it because there's no money in it for them.
Right.
They call it diverging diamond interchange.
Okay.
A lot of metropolitan areas in the east are using it because their real estate becomes so expensive and all this, and the cost of it, they're going to that diverging diamond interchange, and it's more effective and it's cheaper.
I'm aware of what's going on with issues related to freeway improvements and also design. Definitely, it's a state level issue, although the county has indirect jurisdiction over what's going on with Caltrans and how they build it. We have an indirect say, but definitely this is, I think, where maybe Assemblyman Tran Thai, in our district, can speak on this issue, or that we can work with them to address issues related to efficiency and cost savings. If it works better and cheaper, why shouldn't we not be doing that?
Oh yeah, that's why the metropolitan areas all over the east now, Philadelphia, New York,
Right.
Washington, are all using it too.
And spacing as well. Okay, good point. Are there any other issues or questions?
You have any questions?
And you can ask in
George?
Vietnamese. I understand.
I'm an LA guy.
You can ask Orange County. LA.
No, it's okay. Yes.
How big is the homelessness issue in Orange County?
Compared to LA, we are 10 times better.
Right.
Yes, 10 times, literally 10 times. And I'm not saying that flippantly, but there has been real leadership and a concerted effort on the part of the board through Supervisor Doe. Andrew has been right there on the forefront in dealing with the homeless issue for the past 5-7 years. And when I say dealing with it, basically providing the services. The homeless issue is an intractable, difficult issue to resolve because people, of course, do not want to be homeless by definition, not voluntarily. You got to go deeper to the root causes of what caused homelessness. It is definitely a condition that may involve, broken homes,
Mental
drugs,
health.
addicts. You have addiction issues. You have unemployment. You have mental health issues as well, or mental health getting worse during homelessness as well. So all of these issues needs to be dealt with at the root cause. You can cosmetically deal with the homeless, and frankly, if you go down the street and you meet a homeless person, and there are here in Orange County, there are task forces. They're like SWAT teams, actually. The Be Well folks, who are county employees, they literally drive the streets every day.
Yeah.
There are teams of 3 to 5 folks driving these SUVs and vans out there to meet with the homeless, and they know every corner, these employees. They know every corner where the homeless folks are. They know all of these folks, the names, and what they do and what's going on. But they only provide the services that they can to the extent that they can. With what's important is that the homeless person has to agree to come in. Okay, I mean, part of the problem or challenge is that many of these homeless folks, for different reasons, do not want to come into a shelter, although there are shelters provided. And the county actually just last month had a groundbreaking ceremony just down the street from here to create to build a navigation center. And Supervisor Doe put in $5.3 million with the county budget.
Navigation center?
Yeah, it's called the Navigation Center. At first it sounds like a misnomer. Why do you call it a navigation? There's no airplane taking off or landing, right? The Navigation Center, basically it's a building It's a facility for the homeless, but it's more than just a shelter.
Oh,
Homeless
it guides
shelter.
them to places.
Exactly. So at these facilities, not only that there are beds and shelters for the homeless to stay temporarily, okay, which they will have warm showers, hot food, and a warm bed, okay. But equally important, there will be social workers, professionals who are based there, working full time to provide all types of services: mental health, unemployment, okay, healthcare services, and also any types of other supplemental services that's needed to make sure that the homeless person, if he or she's willing to go through the system and work and have the persistence to be independent again. And that process takes a long time. And that's what the Navigation Center is to help guide these folks through the challenges. So we are doing that as well. We're also providing more funding to build here in the district, District 1, within the past 4 years alone. We've built well over 1,200 or subsidized and helped. When I say we, I said the county here in District 1 with Andrew. Basically, we're helping over 11 to 1,200 units,
Nice.
affordable units, apartments and condos for those who may not be able to afford a new home, but will be assisted with this. So there are many ways to do this, to help this, but it takes two to tango, and it takes also some responsibility and some courage on the part of the homeless person to come in, acknowledge the problem, and also assist. Really wanted to get the assistance that they deserve and need to as well. Yes.
Do they have any verification process of where they're from? Because why I say that, because I'm originally from upstate New York, and even the assistant director of OC Parks, and the cities there, the service groups, they give them flyers, tell them, go to Southern California, they give you everything for free, but tell them you live in that county that you're from. And former city councilman Lucille Kring, she told me when she went back to Philadelphia, because her family there, the service groups pass them, do the same thing, tell them come to LA, Orange, San Diego County, because they give you everything for free,
Well,
but
these
tell them
are
you
all
live here.
These are all magnets for, I do believe we have that residency requirement or prohibition.
Oh, that's nice. So you're open to other homeless from other county coming
Yeah,
out?
if they are homeless, they're homeless.
That's great.
Okay, I mean, basically, they don't have a place, and whether they're here or they're in LA, but if they're here within your jurisdiction, you're just gonna have to deal with it, you know? And that's the social issues that we're facing. But if you look at, here are some practical results that you can see that's different, and it's been improved drastically as compared to say 2 or 3 years ago. If you drive by the encampment on the 91 freeway, Anaheim, back in the years, I mean, there were hundreds of homeless folks there, and it's like a Boy Scout jamboree, camping out along the river here. It's just terrible. No running water, sanitation issue, and there's hundreds, literally thousands of needles are collected and found along the riverbed. It's all cleaned out right now, the encampment. Okay, same thing as with downtown Santa Ana, the Civic Center. It's also clean.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
was horrendous.
Yeah, there's no more.
They've also cleaned them up at Beach Boulevard and the 22 freeway there too.
And there are many other pockets that are being cleaned up and cleaned out. But by far, I mean, the bottom line is this: it's going to take a sustained effort for us to continue to keep an eye on what's going on and also press on this effort. And that's what we're doing. And it's all good. But
Yeah, we've got
it's
about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Whether it's gonna go away for, the homeless issue is gonna go away for good. I don't know. I doubt it. It's a social condition here.
So-
There's a question in
sure.
the back here.
I've been mental ill 25 years ago. Can I apply housing now?
You should be able to apply for housing anytime, and actually, there's a priority for those who are mentally incompetent or mentally disabled. There are certain priorities in which you would be able to get your application expedited. That's all I know. I don't know a lot more details other than that in terms of all the, how long it would take for you to get Section 8 vouchers or housing from the Orange County Housing Authority, depending on where you live as well. If you live in Garden Grove, I think Santa Ana and Anaheim, these three big cities have their own housing authority. If you live outside of these three cities, then Orange County will take in all of the application as well. But definitely, if a person who is mentally, is proven clinically mentally disabled and economically qualify for subsidized housing, Section 8 housing, as we call it, HUD housing, then you would get the priority. You would get the priority with the housing authority at the local or at the county level as well. One last question.
Yeah.
That's it.
So thank you. After what you both presented, we see there's a need for spreading the message out to about, issue with homelessness, how you fix it. You provided many assistance to like utility, gas, and food and things like that. A lot of people doesn't know about that. So we are in the film business, and through films and stuff and festivals, we can spread the message. Show, are you open to, we can work together
course,
somehow to
of
help
course. We
spread
do
the message out.
Yes, I mean the message has been, and we hold these coffees as part of a series of activities that we do as well. These coffees are great ways in which we have an opportunity to meet with you, meet with the residents, and meet with the stakeholders and the shareholders who have a concern or a stake and an interest in what's going on here in Orange County. But we also do a lot of other activities together. We have our social media, our mailers, we have our radio programs, and we also we actually partner with every city within the district to do this, with the council members and the mayors, to also promote many of these services. So it's a force multiplier. But definitely, is it enough to get all the word out so that everybody will know? That's an ongoing effort. That's an ongoing aspiration, right? So thank you for your offer, and we're always looking for good partners to work with. So we have to stop here, but thank you so much for stopping by and for sharing your input, and also for listening to me.
Of
Thank
course,
you so
yeah.
much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, and we will definitely.
Thank you.